Welcome back to the Skid Factory, to the Deboss Garage Quarantine Car Show Semi-Finals. My name's Woody, this is Al, and we have been selected as judges for the Ingenuity Award, which we're pretty excited about. There's been a heap of entries, lots of Cummins swaps, lots of LS swaps, couple of 2JZ swaps. There's a Barra-powered Mustang, which I really like. That's a guy from Queensland, actually.
I didn't see that in there.
Tractors too. You guys like swapping tractors with things.
Who knew?
Just like throw a V12 into your tractor, no worries. So without further ado, let's flick through some of these cars and tell you guys how we feel about them.
Rightio. The first one we've got is a Volkswagen Kubelwagen replica. And there's very little chance that Woody has any idea what that is.
I've seen one of them on the street before. It's a 1974.
There actually is one that lives around here, actually, yeah.
Oh, sorry. So it's World War II era replica.
This is a replica, so it's built. A Kubelwagen is a military vehicle built on a Beetle chassis from the 40s. So it just, looks like some metal planks hammered onto the side of a Beetle. And this guy's, he's built his own because they're probably quite rare where he lives. His name is Woods Farm, which I'm assuming is a YouTube.
3 years of custom fabrication, nothing but Mastercraft and Power Fist tools in my home garage.
Power Fist, that sounds like a sick name for
Isn't that elbow grease? Is that the same? No? Alright, next up we've got 1 Ton Tanya. So...
1 ton.
Ton? Ton. And we have a... what even is it?
What is that?
A double front wheels, hydraulic handbrake, homemade... about the build. This is a project that's built in my shed in the last 2 weeks. Gee, that's quick. The front half of a Nissan Micra with the engine removed, and the rear half is a Toyota Yaris welded up together.
1 litre Yaris, a 3-cylinder.
Yeah. Pretty crazy build. Made in Ireland. Good stuff, man. You've got a YouTube link there for us too. Lots of cool stuff. Polished muffler bearings and a mint air freshener.
Sweet.
Good effort, mate. Love it. 1961 Rambler Resto mod. This thing is really cool. I do love it. LS1 T56. Really cool car. I am a sucker.
It's kind of like a floor pan out of a Lincoln or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's
and then the old Rambler body put on it, so it's pretty hectic.
61 Rambler wagon, custom unibody frame, fabricated by himself, and the guys at Rusto Mod Garage. Corvette suspension, LS1 engine, T56 transmission, Dana 44. And it's got floor and interior from a 2003 Lincoln Aviator, heated and cooled power seats.
Is that a plane?
Really cool. Isn't a Lincoln?
I reckon a Lincoln Aviator. You'll have to excuse us because we're from Australia and we don't have these.
Isn't that one of those things that Muzz had? Like it's like a big
SUV.
It
sounds like a Denali.
Yeah.
Which is probably I just probably said that wrong.
Built in about 2 months with a 8.5 spec roll cage. Geez, that's quick, eh? That's a very, very quick
That's how quick you can build stuff when you're not filming it.
Yeah, true that. True that. Very cool car. I really did enjoy that one. And next up is a 1940 GMC.
You're a bit keen on this one, aren't you, Will?
I did really like this one. For us...
A pickup truck.
Cummins swaps and Duramax swaps and IDI, Power Strokes IDI, isn't it? That's right.
IDI is an indirect injection power stroke.
They are very uncommon over here in Australia because we obviously didn't get those engines and anything. But in the States and Canada, they seem to be everywhere. But this thing caught my eye. I really did like it. So it's a 5.9 6BT with a turbo 400, 12-bolt rear end, all on air ride. It's a really cool truck, and he's had it for quite a long time. Yeah, look, I think it's a cool truck.
Anything with a Cummins in it's usually cool, isn't it?
Ingenuity is, in my eyes, is something that you've built at home and done yourself and used different parts, which I think which he's kind of nailed really. So, pretty cool car. Ford F350 7.2.
Ooh, this is the one with the cat engine in it.
Yeah, I think so. Very clean, very tall. Again, Ingenuity. He's entered in
quite a good video too.
The Mint category and the Ingenuity category. So it's got a Cat 3126. I don't think I've ever seen one of those engines. Are they in like excavators and stuff?
School buses and stuff like that.
He's had it for 3 years. Had the 7.3 IDI, and 2 years ago he decided to swap in the Cat 3126 and Allison AT 545 out of a school bus. So he's got all custom mounts and everything like that on it, and he's currently in the process of swapping out the 4-speed for an MD 3060, which I've got no idea what that is.
It's an Allison 6-speed, I think. Medium duty.
Give us more speed
Duty.
and better fuel economy. So most of the parts you see is
Pretty wild looking. It's like a full-on, like a dump truck looking thing. But
yeah, it is cool. I think, and it's really
Have a
tall,
look.
eh?
it's quite cool. And good video on that one too.
Yeah, he has got a great video.
That sounds mint because it's a truck engine.
Yeah.
You'll love that.
Next up,
Truck
we've got
in Australia means actual giant thing, not
like the one like
not a
something-
ute.
something that like carries shipping
a lot of
containers. Yeah. Next up, we are familiar with this car. We actually met these guys when we were on tour in Drag Week. Which track were we at?
Cecil County in Maryland.
And it's the blokes from Fuel Injection Sucks, which
I think we turned up in the pitch black with all our
that's right.
in the Fox body and the Cresta, and that vehicle was parked there, and we just thought it was someone getting in early. And then they took off down the road, and all you could hear was like massive spool noises.
See, I'm not too sure. The YouTube channel is called Fuel Injection Sucks, but they seem to use a lot of fuel injection.
Yeah.
They're currently doing a barra swaps.
Is that delicious irony or
Is it a G? What are they doing? Is it G-body?
American car that we don't get?
Really cool car, and there's a heap of YouTube videos on it. We spoke to the guys when we were at Cecil County for a while there. Really cool dudes. Bone stock, Gen 4 6-litre LS, and purchased for $300. How do they get them so cheap, man?
That's like $3,000 here.
And they've thrown it together. This is a very good contender for the Ingenuity Award because it's different. The guys have done it at home, and it's still got like cabin air conditioning and all that stuff inside. Like it's still a Winnebago on the inside, but with a turbo LS. So really, really cool van. 1977 F250 7.3 Power Stroke swap. This thing I really liked actually too. He's done a cool little video there showing us around the car, and he's had it for a long time, since he was 14. There you go, looking back, it's the worst example of a truck. $1,300, he paid for it. Great car. 2 years to restore the truck without the swap, and then swapped in the 7.3. 15 miles per gallon. What's that in metric, roughly? Do you know? Could you know? Okay. Someone can let us know.
It gets 15 miles per gallon. It sounds like it's good.
It does sound like it's good.
Horses per hectare.
So next up, we've got another F-Truck. It's a 2003 F250, built in Iraq. So
by an army guy.
Yeah, army guys. They said they're all a bunch of mechanics and reserve troops.
It doesn't look like it's got much F250 underneath. It's
No.
got a Caterpillar 3116 and an Allison PDO divorce transfer case, obviously four-wheel drive. Got some pretty crazy looking chassis gear going on under there as well. It's pretty wild.
That's crazy. Reminds me of like a SEMA truck almost. It's like this big jacked up thing that you have to get a step ladder to get into. Or not even a step ladder, you need like an actual 6-foot ladder to climb up into it.
That is pretty awesome. So
Great work.
They did drive it around in Iraq
Yep.
about a month before they had to return home, which I'm sure they were happy about.
He says he's really proud of it, and the dozens of soldiers that helped him.
I hope they got to bring it home.
Yeah. I think
cool.
he said it's still in there. He's not too sure what's happened to it now, but.
What do we got next? A 1926 Ford.
Rust.
Rusty?
Oh yeah, the T is emphasised, isn't it? This thing was really cool. I did like it, but there seems to be a thing. So you get an old truck and you swap a Cummins in or a LS.
It's definitely a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
It would be a thing here too if we're allowed to do that. That's cool. It's
Built the car 15
it's got a
years
great
ago.
video as well.
Yeah, it's got a cool video.
They did a really neat job of filming it and that sort of thing. And it's a pretty wild bit of gear.
Built the car 15 years ago and sold it, and then came back with a new owner, so they rebuilt it, version Rust 2.0. So
With a bit of a sci-fi theme, so it's got a really cool interior and all sorts of interesting features about it.
yeah, awesome thing.
Yeah, definitely a cool one. International pickup truck, 1947.
Another. This has got a small block or something in it, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it had a
Chopped,
a
shortened Mustang 2 front end. Ooh, Mustang 2s weren't pretty. Steering rack. The
Yeah, it
old.
does have a 69 350 Chev in it. Really cool.
Can't believe you can still get cool old things like that.
That's awesome. I'd love something like
That's
that.
so cool.
68 Pontiac Le Mans. Now this thing, we didn't really get a whole lot of info with this thing. It's got a great video, but the description in the
There's not much in it.
actual like online car show is just mods, license plates, self tappers, and a 462 cubic inch Buick. About the build, roads where we're going, we don't need roads. But it is a really cool old thing.
I did watch the video, and it was built for an event called the Gambler 500, which
That's
is
it, yeah.
like making your Mad Max spec car out of a normal vehicle and then off-roading it, which actually looked like a heap of fun. It's got a massive big block in it. Yeah, it's actually really cool. I quite like this one.
Another Cummins swapped F250, but this is a 4BT.
Yeah.
So
I can almost feel it rattling from here.
yeah. The only 4BT that I know of in Australia is on the barge when you cross the Noosa River over to Noosa North Shore. It's like this.
They're only really used as industrial engines
Yeah,
in
it's an
Australia.
industrial. It just like drives this big cable thing. 4BT HX30 ZF5 manual trans, Dana 60 front, Dana 80 rear, custom built from the ground up. Really cool old truck. The next one up is the V12 Lincoln flathead tractor, which is just crazy.
The idea that there's a flathead V12 Lincoln car is quite cool.
Is there much aftermarket support for an engine like that or not? There's like nothing available. It'd be like
I'm going to throw it out there and say that it's probably a Ford, like a flathead Ford V8 that's been extended by Ford Motor Company or something like that.
Okay then.
But either way, it's pretty cool, and the fact that it's in a tractor is just completely out there.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah. I don't think we see tractors with V12 engines much on the road
You
here.
don't see, the only time that I have ever seen a modified tractor is on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
People that drag racing and stuff.
It's a thing. Sherman transmission.
Maybe we should do like
I
a
reckon
tractor or something
that
one
would
day.
sound hell cool, that.
Maybe we should do like we should modify the cocks or something. Modify your mower. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's called a lawn tractor, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another tractor, we may as well get them over and done with.
Turbo LS.
This one's a Turbo LS in a Farmall, which I think is like a Massey Ferguson type thing. Oh no, it's a proper cool one with 2 front wheels. Sick.
Yeah, that's right. It's got the centre wheels that are like cambered in, like positive cambered. There's a few of those at that
We went to a tractor museum in,
Virginia, wasn't it?
yeah, Virginia. It was actually really cool. But yeah, none of them had Turbo LSs in them, which is, I think they need to do something about that. It's actually got videos of him using it as a tractor, so it's
Yeah.
not just a thing for the internet.
It is pretty cool. Ingenuity, Alan. I like it.
There's some serious ingenuity going into that.
Oh, the 7.3 F250. This thing,
73 model?
this is probably my favourite video. The guy did a really good walk around of the car, talking about the car, and he's got some really detailed photos of the build, which it's a car that definitely stood out for myself when it came to judging for the semi-finals. And That's the kind of thing too. If you can't show us photos of the car and what you've done to it, and there's just a couple of photos there, then how do we know that you actually built it?
True that. These old IDI engines sound so sick. I don't know how good they go.
This
but
cold start.
That sound
The cold start on that thing, the video, just sounds awesome.
Everybody wanted to be a truck driver when they were a kid. We should do a diesel truck or drive or something.
For sure, one day.
Yes. It was a 6.9 IDI, then it was a 7.3, then it had a Banks turbo kit fitted. All the stuff came from junkyards where the owner worked in the junkyards on the weekend to get credit so he could get parts for free. So that's a cool story. And it's actually nicely presented for an old FE
cool,
too.
Yeah.
That's a pretty old bit of gear. That's older than me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn, you old.
Jeez, it actually looks better than I do. All right, next up.
This thing I liked mainly because it's got a 2JZ to F100. Really cool car.
F-150?
Is it 100 or F150?
100, yeah. Oh, it's got a, is that the Crown Vic front end on it?
I think it was something like that.
That's so cool. I want to get one of them. Can't believe it. Remember that guy that had that Crown Vic chassis car? Yeah, that was so cool.
Maybe this guy knows Lance.
That's it's really nice. This I like it.
Here's the Barra swapped 1969 Mustang Coupe from a guy in Queensland.
Oh no way, I missed that. D56,
The Barra
6-speed manual.
The Barra, for those of you who don't know, check out either one of our videos on YouTube where I make Benny from Benny's Custom Works. It's a 4-litre iron block, straight 6-cylinder, double overhead cam with variable cam timing. They come factory turbocharged, and they are just like, the motors are great. You can make some serious power with
3JZ.
With minimal mods basically. So really cool car.
And it's still a Ford engine instead of a 2JZ.
Yes, that's right. It's still a Ford engine rather than
That's really cool. I'm a fan of that. Another F truck, 53 model this time. Gee,
It's old school.
it's nearly as old as you.
One of my mates has actually got one of these over here in Australia. I'm not actually too sure if it's 53 or not, but very similar. And it's got a small block 350 Chev actually in it.
Blaspheme.
Yeah, but this thing's really cool. This has still got a Windsor 302 Windsor, and I think it was a flathead. Is that right? Yeah.
No, I would imagine so. Yeah.
It was originally a flathead. Yes, that's it. And he's repaired all the paint. The whole body's been restored. He's done a really nice job.
A lot of work. Custom floor by the look of it. Some gear gone into it. Very nice. Chevy 2-door post.
This guy did a really nice video too.
55 Chev.
BW's Garage. That's my initials, mate. Gasser. Really cool car. He's replaced all the floor and stuff. It's still on the bill. He's still going, but it's great to see him doing this stuff. Himself, he said, he's not a car builder. He's an industrial welder. I think he said he was.
Never built a car. He's worked as a mechanic and an industrial welder.
Yeah, industrial
Sounds like the right combination to build your own car.
Sure, why not? But he's welded on his own front end and everything like that. So it's great job. Cool car.
And it's got a fatty in it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a fatty. 48 Chevy COE cab over engine truck, which look really cool.
Rescued from a paddock. Awesome thing.
Sitting on a 2001 Dodge frame with a 97 12 valve, 5.9, 5-speed. It's all the stuff that you require. That'd actually be quite a cool thing. There you go. It's one out of the ordinary. Next
up's a cool car that we're familiar with the engine. It's a Toyota 1UZ FE, so it's a 4-litre quad cam, all alloy V8. And it's in a Ford Sierra, which is a rarity of they're rare over here. They only imported for racing or something,
I
weren't
think
they?
so, So it's a German designed Ford but sold throughout Europe in left and right hand drive form. This particular one was a left hand drive and he's converted it to right hand drive.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I assume that he's in the UK, but it's hard to tell.
The UK plates for sure.
It's got a BMW Getrag gearbox, which is not what we would use in Australia, but I suppose if you've got a wrecking yard full of them, then that's what you use. A few other bits and pieces. It's really well executed, and it looks like it does a mean skid as well.
It definitely does pop a mean skid, which we like. I like that era of carber styling is really cool. Next up, 92 Ford F350, the Fummins.
That's a big, long vehicle, that sucker.
Got a soft spot for F-trucks, any F-truck. I just think because we don't get them here is why we like them so much.
Pretty much.
So it's got a 6BT, and he's got a heap of photos of like the adapter plate and everything that's been
pretty much made everything himself because he can, and that's what we like. He's a machinist by trade.
I just can't get over how long they are. It's just crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Just like 82 Pontiac Grand Prix turbo 3.8 litre. So it's we get these engines over here. It's a
we call them a mang mang because they
mang.
When people are hitting the rev limiter on them, they go mang 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 mang. So it's
they came in our Holden Commodores.
Yeah, so he's actually done to this vehicle what they did in Australia, GM did in Australia, which is get a proper drive engine.
Minus the turbo.
And, we get turbo ones, but he's used that engine that we had here and rear-wheel drive converted it. It's got a reasonable sized turbo and some real nice piping and bracketry and stuff. And
looks like a very clean car too.
It's quite a cool
He's had the body off the car and...
Just trips me out when they've got chassis because nothing much.
Yeah.
We don't. Everything's monocoque or unibody here, so most things anyway.
50s Buick. Benny had one of these. Was it a 50 or not?
If I said it was a 50, Benny would say no, it was a 50 and a half, and that was different. Very similar to this.
This thing's pretty cool. I like how it's been built at home in his shed with junkyard parts.
It's been chopped and sectioned and...
I'm pretty sure it's on air ride all around. It's got a 6 litre turbo in there, 6 litre LS turbo. Was it a 6 litre?
Yeah,
or was it a 5.7?
6 litre, yeah.
Really cool
Pontiac Parisian chassis, that's pretty out there. Of all chassis to
What's
use.
a Parisian?
It's like a giant Pontiac, like a huge thing. We did get them in Australia in right-hand drive. It's a cool one. It's got a wild green sort of flame.
Pinstriped flame, yeah.
Paint job on it. It's nice looking thing. All right, lucky last. This looks like it's done a bit of work in its life.
Definitely done some work, and definitely from the northern states or Canada.
A very snowy place by the look of it, considering there's no bottom half of the car left.
So it's been converted to four-wheel drive. It's got a 24-valve Cummins.
With a P7100, that sounds like a mint combo.
That's so the P-pump has been adapted onto it. Isn't that like the unicorn version of a Cummins? It's the one you want to do?
It is, yeah. Big fan. Oh man, that's a massive list of stuff. Mm-hmm. This truck is a real Johnny Cash Cadillac. Oh no, that's all for the list.
That's the list of cars we've gone through, and now's the hard part is to deciding on. Well, I've actually already decided one myself. We discussed this before, and funnily enough, we both laid out the cars that we liked, and there was one car that stood out for us.
By no means the flashiest or anything like that, but
they're all cool. They're all cool cars. They're all awesome cars, and even in the whole car show in all the categories, there is some epic cars that have been submitted. And it's actually hard to judge so many cars, and
also this is our opinion, so it doesn't mean anything.
Especially when there's two of us, we've got to come to an agreement somehow.
And the one that we like is the 1973 Ford F250 that's had a 7.3 IDI swap. I'll explain why we like this. It's kind of comes down to the amount of effort that he's put into sort of showing the car, the video he's made, the explanation of how he went through the process of building it, and it really was built with very little money. So that's more brains, less money. That's what we're really after. And there's quite a few other cars that are like that as well, but this one just sort of gelled with us as far as Humboldt Hillbilly.
Humboldt Hillbilly.
That's his
Are we saying that right?
YouTube channel. He's got 9 subscribers, so I'm sure you'll sort that out very shortly. We went through it before, but it's a pretty clean old F truck with a 7.3 IDI with a Banks turbo kit fitted to it. All the stuff was found at wrecking yards, made out of bits and pieces. He worked at the wrecking yard.
That's what
to keep the parts, because that doesn't cost any money.
That's what the Ingenuity Award for us was about, was finding someone who has built the car themselves and gave us lots of info, you know.
Yeah.
Anybody can throw cash at a car, anybody can throw cash at a mate, but proving to us and showing us all this stuff here, I think is great.
It's a good thing, and congratulations to Humboldt Hillbilly. We don't actually know his real name, but he's...
So you're through through the semi-finals. You've won yourself a Summit Racing jacket.
Cool.
And now you're into the finals to go ahead and...
battle it out
to win a Summit Racing gift card.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So thank you to everyone for submitting your entries. We've had fun going through all the cars, having a bit of a squiz at what you've been up to in your home shed. We've been up to lots. It's probably something a lot different to what you've normally seen.
This isn't an
Maybe Sarah might.
It's not
like
an
this.
F truck.
Sarah might like this.
Probably would.
Yeah.
She's got a SW20, hasn't she?
Yeah, but it's still a MI2.
No.
If you want to check us out, give us a follow at the Skid Factory. We do some cool stuff. Anyway, we like hanging out.
We try.
Well, I like to think that I was like the Aussie version of Rich. Just with less Cummins and power strokes.
We've been to Rich's shed,
and
the reason we went there is because I used to like watching him, and I like farm equipment and diesels and stuff like that, so it was really cool to
Rich has got heated
hang out.
floors and we've got air conditioning, so...
It's the opposite end of the world. but
Opposite end.
We all love cars and engines and rattly diesel noises and turbo spooling and that sort of thing, so feels like a big community, doesn't it? That's the idea behind this.
And huge thanks to Rich and Aaron and the Deboss community for organising this and getting this together. Yeah. It's been great to get the whole car community worldwide jumping in for a good cause and keeping us all busy in these hard times.
Keeping everyone sane who may be stuck at home.
Yep.
So well done, boys.
That's it from us today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy.